Lionel Sanders, congratulations on a great race down in Oceanside, but I have this feeling you're not calling it a great race.
Well, I was the second place finisher, which is the first loser, and that's not it's the most motivating position to finish, but it is not the best position to finish, and thus no, I'm not happy with it.
So, Gian Frodeno on fire out there. What did you learn other than a motivated Gian Frodeno is not a fun person to race?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly that certainly is a big piece of the puzzle. I figured when I woke up, day after Kona, something told me Jan would be the guy to beat this year, and I think Jan has not slept a full night's sleep since Kona, and that showed in Oceanside. And that's great. I mean, it's good for the sport, and it just shows there's still more to go. There's still more to improve. From my standpoint, the big one for me, I'm giving away too much free time on the bike. In that race, there's not a doubt in my mind I gave up a lot of time in those technical sections. It's the first time I had rode outside and moved on my bike in nearly 3 months, and I spent 5-6 miles remembering how to even ride the bicycle, and that's not good, and I can't afford to give that kind of free time up. As well, just really poor errors. For instance, I didn't check my brakes, and going up the hills I could hear one of my brakes rubbing, and then my visor fell out. I didn't check my visor beforehand. I didn't put my little aerospace filler in because I was not prepared the night before. Just things like this, just disrespectful things to competition, to not, dot the I's and cross the T's. So, that's some of the places to improve. And then, of course, people have been telling me this for years now, but I really got to start to get serious about my equipment choices and my position and all of these sorts of things. And looking at Jan's bike, he has left nothing, absolutely nothing to chance. He's tested everything. He's optimized in every single way, shape, and form. And I have to do the same now. And so, it's great. It couldn't have happened at a better time because I got plenty of time now to do all those things and to improve and to get, truly serious about it. And so that's what I'll do. That's what I'll spend the next 6 months doing.
So how does that break down? So in terms of making the changes, obviously you've worked with Garneau for a long time. You'll continue to work with them on refining things?
Yeah, we're all going to get, a lot more serious in that regard. So we actually have a meeting tomorrow about how we're going to actually optimize the bike, make, true changes to the bike, by using, what is it called, fluid dynamic analyses. And then, of course, just my position choices. For instance, I've been riding a medium frame, and one of the big problems is I got really short legs, long torso. So I've not been able to get high enough to get enough drop. And so I've had to use a specific bar in order to, overcome that, as well as machine out the dust cap in order to even get enough drop to get in the position I'm in. So I started to think, well, how about a small frame? And so now on a small frame, I can get the seat significantly higher, get a lot more drop. This allows me to use a much more aerodynamic bar like the Tri-Rig Alpha X. So I already have that onto the bike. It's got a much better bottle setup, much better pad position, obviously significantly more aerodynamic, integrated cabling. That's one piece of the puzzle. Admittedly, I analyzed Jan's bike a bit when I was picking my bike up in transition. I wanted to take a picture of it, but I thought that might be an invasion of privacy, so I didn't. But he's got the Speedplay Aero Zero pedals on there. Well, I happen to have a set of Speedplay Aero Zero pedals coming in the mail. They should be here in 4 days. Crank, for instance, there's a lot of time trial specialist cranks out there. For instance, Vision Metron crank. So there's lots of things to test and to look at there. Different ways to house your flat kit, for instance. I already had a 3D, space filler printed for above the bottom bracket, but now that I'm moving to a small frame, I'll have to get a new one of those printed. But it would be nice to put my flat kit in there. That way I could remove the thing I'm using on my rear bottle cage. Also, there's some products on the market to get that rear bottle cage more at a 45-degree angle. These are all things that we have no idea what effect they're having until we go into the wind tunnel, which I've never been into the wind tunnel. So, these are just some of the thoughts, some of the things that are brewing right now that I can improve. As well, just position changes. in that race in particular, I think because that visor was off, I really scrunched up, and it was a really, really poor position. And so, obviously, putting the visor back on the helmet's going to improve the having to protect my eyes and that sort of thing. But also, getting really rotated inwards with my hip, getting that hip rotated outwards. Lots of room for improvement. To be honest with you, I was having the fastest bike split in a lot of the races, so I just wasn't motivated. Why fix something that's not broken? But I mean, a good old-fashioned defeat will show you the things that you should be thinking about. And so now I think I'm back on the right pathway.
Sounds like Oceanside has provided an insane amount of motivation for you for the next 6 months.
Absolutely. All my best races, if you ask me, have all been defeats, and I'm certain Oceanside 2018 will go down as one of my best races I've ever had.
All right. Finally, we don't get a chance to see you race too often in Canada, but there is for sure one coming up in June.
Yeah, Mont-Tremblant 70.3. That's been, I think this will be my 5th time in a row doing that race, starting back in 70.3 Worlds 2014. I haven't missed one since, so I'd like to keep that streak going. And I mean, it's got to be one of the best races on the circuit, so I'm excited for that.
And heading into that, though, we've still got St. George, and then another showdown with Sebastian. I guess there'll be Sebastian in St. George, and then another rematch of the Challenge Championship.
Yeah, indeed. And I think Jan signed up for Kienle's hometown race, Kreutzgau, but Kienle's coming to Samarin, so maybe Jan should change his race plans and come to Samarin too. Just my opinion.
Wait, we'll throw that challenge out there. Good luck through the rest of the year, and thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.